Hey guys, Marisa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today I've got this awesome truffle bag treat for you. I am really excited about this project. It's quick, it's easy, it's adorable, and I can't wait to get started. First I want to show you though, this project was inspired by my Stampin' Anonymous tutorial for November. So if you don't know already, Stampin' Anonymous tutorials are the free gift with purchase. When you buy Stampin' Up products from me in any given month, your gift from me is the Stampin' Anonymous tutorials. It's a 6-pack of fantastic better than flat tutorials. And so what I did for you today is I took this one that's exclusive to Stampin' Anonymous tutorial receivers or purchasers. You can receive it free with a purchase or buy it in on my website for $9.95. So I took this gorgeous little box and I changed up the dimensions. I changed up the pattern of the designer series paper. I changed up the decorations and made this adorable tutorial for you. So if you're curious about the Stampin' Anonymous tutorials, head on over to KitchenTableStamper.com by following the link if you're watching on YouTube to the blog and check them out. My customers get rewarded with them for free. If you don't have an order for me, that's okay. You can still get the great exclusive tutorials for just $9.95. All right, let's get started with this box. That's a little bit taller, a little bit deeper, almost about as wide, but super adorable. I made this box with specific treats in mind. I found these Kirkland chocolates of the world, these truffles, and they've got such gorgeous wrappers. Like, look at that one. I plan on doing one with a snowflake theme, as well as these holly jolly ones. So I'm gonna pull out some red and green truffles, and this box is sized to fit 3 of these truffles. They're very similar size to lint truffles, so this would be a good bag for 3 lint truffles also. All right, so we've got our candies. Our Stampin' Up supplies for this project include Stampin' Up layering ovals, and you'll need the 3 1/4 by 2 5/16 oval. I believe it's the second largest one. The dimensions will be on the project sheet. I am also using my Christmas Traditions punch box. Now, I love this product. The punch box includes this great tin, and inside there are red and green. There's Real Red and Call Me Clover Stampin' pads, an acrylic block, this awesome Christmas Traditions punch, and the coordinating stamp set that we're going to use on today's project. Now, I have said before that I love this product, but I'm not in love with the price. And so to rectify that for me, I went ahead and splurged a half price item on it. Demonstrators can also be their own hostesses, so we can stack the benefits. It's amazing being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so what I did was I had a workshop. I was the demonstrator and the hostess, and with the half price item, I got my Christmas Traditions punch box, and now I'm super satisfied with the price. So anyways, if you'd like more information about joining the Stampin' Up! Family with the Kitchenettes or hosting a workshop so you can get those half price items, email me, Marisa at KitchenTableStamper.com. I'm always happy to help you with any of your Stampin' Up! Questions or needs. All right, so I've got my Christmas Traditions punch and the stamps here. You also will need a 1.5 inch circle punch. I have a crocodile. You can use a 3/16 inch hand punch. You can use a probably an 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch handheld punch, but the ribbon's a little bit wide, so I went with my crocodile. This is the 3/8 of an inch basic black shimmer ribbon. Need probably about 15 inches of that to tie your box closed. And then let's see here, what else have I got? Scraps of Real Red, Old Olive, and Whisper White. And my designer series paper for this bag is Under the Mistletoe from the annual catalog, 2018-19 annual catalog. And this piece measures 6.5 by 5.5. So you can get 2 of these little boxes or bags They're kind of box bags from one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock or designer series paper. All right, so let's grab the Big Shot. I'm gonna clear everything over here and we're gonna cut this layering oval. That'll be our first order of business. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Regal's Stampin' Right markers. You're gonna want those too, Real Red and Old Olive. All right, I think we got everything. Let's get crafting. Okay, so my Big Shot is all set up for die cutting. I'm just gonna pop this scrap of cardstock in there and we're gonna get ourselves a nice scallop oval topper for our bag. There it is, like butter. I love it. I'm switching out my Big Shot for my Simply Score tool. And the first thing we're gonna do is kind of put a score in this oval. And it's a 3¼ inch oval. And what I've found is if you go about, let's see here. And we're just looking for kind of a gentle guideline for where to crease this oval. And then we're gonna go ahead and fold that in half. Let's see here, what was that? That's about 1 5/8 is about the line you're looking to score on. And then before I really burnish it down, I will go ahead and line up my scallops all along the edge there. I'm gonna grab my bone folder and just hit that crease, make it nice and smooth, and really muscle those scallops into alignment. All right, so there's our little bag topper. Now let's do the dimensions of our bag. So I got my bag here and I've got it the 6½ inch, so that's the landscape side. And we're gonna score at 1 1/4, at 3 inches, at 4 1/4, and at 6 inches. We're gonna rotate 90 degrees and score at 1 1/4. Let's get our project back in here so you can see what we're doing. I'm gonna work these score lines. I like to work them inside out, so if the pattern is going to stretch or crack, those little imperfections will be on the inside of my bag. So I'm working the outside pattern in, and then I'll flip it around and go the other way. There's our score lines. Now we're going to take our paper snips and we're going to cut out this little rectangle in the bottom here. I like to cut at a bit of an angle, both up and across. And then I like to cut just a little angle cut off of the tab. That's our glue tab there. Now we have 3 more score lines across the bottom here, and I like to cut them out just like a little dart. All right, so there's our bag. Now let's get some adhesive on our tabs. Here's what I like to do. I like to add my strong adhesive. You can use Fast Fuse or Tear and Tape on the tab. And then I like to fold in 2 scores. So not this one, but this next one. And then fold my bag, the first tab, over. This gives me an opportunity to kind of square up the top of the bag and work my score if there's any, so see, I had to work my little score line there a little bit. Okay, then what I like to do is take the seam up and then put adhesive on this larger tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a couple of lines of strong adhesive, and then I'm going to tuck the small tabs, the side tabs in, and then I'm going to tuck the tab with no adhesive down, and the one with adhesive is just going to come right up and build the bottom of the box. At this point I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go ahead and just burnish the adhesive down at the bottom of the box. All right, now we can go ahead and put in our truffles, and you'll see that 3 fit very nicely right in there. And then we're going to just pinch the top of the box, bring our box topper back in here, and we're going to add a little bit of strong adhesive right in the center of that oval. You don't want to go out like a finger's length, because as you can see, this little box topper hangs over the edge of the bag. So then we're going to center the bag inside the oval up against the score there, see? And now our bag has a little topper, opens and closes, okay? Oh, you know what? This is my 1/8 inch side. Awesome. So you can use the 1/8 inch handheld punch. I wasn't sure if the 1/8 inch was going to be big enough, and it certainly is. So there you go, 1/8 of an inch. And you want to make sure that you get inside the edge of the box here. So just inside a little bit and down about 1/4 of an inch, okay? Now we're gonna take our basic black ribbon. I love this shimmery stuff. And we're gonna thread from the front of the box to the back, and I've just left it on the bolt. It works out to 15 inches maybe that you'll need here. And then we'll go from the back to the front. Now you can see that the box is reclosable, so just open the ribbon and close the ribbon, tie the bow and seal up the box, but the packaging does not need to be destroyed to get the candy out. I always like that. We're gonna tie a nice, pretty bow, kind of substantial. We want that shimmer ribbon to just really pull everything together. It pulls out these basic black lines that are in the designer series paper. I really like the contrast. All right, now we're going to trim off the bolt and trim this rough edge. There. Now let's get stamping. I'm gonna grab the Stampin' Pierce mat and some Whisper white cardstock, and we'll finish this little treat box up. All right, so I've got my Whisper white cardstock and my Holly Jolly Christmas stamp, and we're going for a two-tone effect here. So we're going to use the Stampin' Right marker to do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the caps off of the brush end of both of my pens so that I've got them ready to go. We're gonna do this two-tone inking, and I like to do it with the white cardstock underneath the block. That way I can really see where I'm going with my markers. We're doing the little flourish below the greeting with Old Olive, and now the greeting with Real Red. This have a, sits right in between that flourish, so you gotta be kind of careful. And then Holly Jolly. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to Old Olive now, and I just ink with this using the side of the brush point. Take your time. You can always give it a little huff before you stamp to make sure that the ink is nice and moist, and then go ahead and stamp. Give your ink a second to transfer. Look at that, I just love that stamp. Oh my goodness, such impact. All right, now we need our punches. I've got the 1.5 inch circle punch, so you need a scrap of Real Red that's bigger than 1.5 inches there. And then the Christmas Traditions. And we're gonna line that right up inside of our label. Oh my cuteness, and so fast. All right, now dimensionals. I've got some minis here, and I'm gonna put a couple of minis right on my Old Olive, and that way I know that I haven't gotten any dimensionals that are going to seal the box shut. And then I'm gonna put 2 or 3 right here on my label also. So peel that release paper and center Holly Jolly on the 1.5 inch circle. And then remove the paper from the old olive and just pop that Have a Holly Jolly Christmas right on the center, up against the bow. There it is. Let's get the Stampin' Pierce mat out of there so you can see. So there's our truffle bags. Now, to give you a little idea, don't want to give too much away, but this is the bag that we're doing for Stampin' Anonymous tutorials in November. It's not too late to get the Stampin' Anonymous tutorials for October. If you don't have an order from me, don't worry about it. You can just buzz over through the link on the blog and you can purchase it through PayPal. Orders in November, you're going to get the Stampin' Anonymous tutorials with a Christmas focus, and the Stampin' Anonymous for tutorials for October are Thanksgiving focus. All right, so there's our Holly Jolly Christmas truffle bags. If you've got questions about Stampin' Up, about Stampin' Anonymous tutorials, about kitchenettes, or about the project, email me, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching.